What is happening? This is Vinyl Happy Hour. We've got some really cool records to bust into, and I'm going to call this an indie exclusive whiskey. And also something really cool, something we haven't featured ever before on Vinyl Happy Hour, something autographed by one of my favorite bands. So I want to show you the extensive packaging that goes with that. That is my finale or holy grail though of tonight's episode. So be sure to stick in, and we're going to actually open up and go through the packaging and show it all off for you. I'm Skylar. If you haven't been watching before, this is Vinyl Happy Hour. I'm owner of Culture Shock Clothing and Records here in Rockford, Illinois. Every week, we like to showcase and bring to you some new releases, some special limited releases, and kind of give you an idea of what is going on in the record world, some of the special packaging and stories behind some of the records that are getting released. And sometimes we bust into a holy grail or something really rare, which we're going to tonight. I like to have a little drink while we're doing this and while I'm warming up and checking out some of the records before the show. This is a really special one right here in, it's actually from DeKalb, Illinois, Whiskey Acres Distillery. This is one of their special whiskey series. They call it Bourbon Whiskey Corn Variety X20. So what they did is they did a small batch barrel of some special brands of corn that they have. There's some special breeds of corn, and they separated like the different colored corn and did a special batch. Instead of mixing the corn and using their regular corn, they did a small batch of this. It's aged at least a year, but they use smaller barrels, so it still gives it a good, more of a robust whiskey flavor. It's good. We got to visit them last year and check it out and meet the people distilling there, and they actually farm the corn and distill it right on site. That's really good, considering it's only been aged at least a year. Usually a good bourbon is more like 4 years. Whiskeys don't have to be. I think they use smaller barrels, though. It gets more wood contact, give it a little more of an oakier flavor. It's almost got a little bit of a sour spike to it even. It's really good, though. So really cool place. If you haven't checked them out, I encourage you to do so. Just like your independent record stores, there's a lot of great independent distilleries and other local businesses we definitely hope people are checking out, especially during the craziness that's been going on. First record up tonight, you see this really cool green record here. This is G3. I'm actually not horribly familiar with this group G3. I am super familiar though with all the guitarists on it. This is Joe Satriani's band, and he actually brings in a lot of different crazy like guitar gods to play with. And this one is with Steve Vai and Petrucci from Dream Theater. So if you know that, this is like super proggy, heavy guitar rock. This is the 15th anniversary of their Live in Tokyo show. Triple gatefold. Oh, really cool. It's numbered even. This is number 73. I believe they did like 1,500 copies or so. Let's see here. Yeah, 1,000 copies on green vinyl, translucent green. What's really weird is the first record is actually like this marble green record, but the other two are translucent green. There's another one in there. This is just a good rockin' set. These guys, they're not as old as, you know, Hendrix and some of those earlier guitar players, but Joe Satriani is like considered a guitar god and very influential to tons of other guitar players. Steve Vai also, he had worked with even Frank Zappa, stuff like that, and of course Dream Theater, bringing in that modern prog rock mix with even some death metal overtones. So it's 3 records long. This is from their live set, like I said, 15th anniversary. It has been on vinyl before, but this is the first time it's been released on color vinyl. Being as that this is so limited and we only have a few copies, I am going to take a moment to remind you that you can find these at cultureshockshop.com, but I wouldn't wait if you're coming into the store. I would say even go online and pick those up so we aren't sold out of them and don't have to disappoint you that, you know, it's already sold out. We are also right now, if you check out the pre-order section on cultureshockshop.com, we're featuring some upcoming releases. If you want to be first in line to get your hands on those, either to pick up in store or for us to ship them to you, you can find, you know, some Run the Jewels, Sylvan Esso, Metallica with the Symphony Orchestra. There's a load of upcoming releases. You can pre-order and be in line for that to get those picked up through us. When you order online, it's just like I said, going to any record label or any major website that you've been to before, but you're actually supporting and buying it through your independent record store. And we're taking great care to make sure we get enough copies for all of our customers, and of course taking great care with the records that come in or that we're shipping out. So we really appreciate you checking out our website too and supporting us at our store here. This next one actually is a really cool release that came out through Record Store Day. We're talking about kind of a collaboration here. So Joe Satriani did this collaboration with these other guys. This is a reissue of one of his earlier and most well-known albums, Surfing with the Alien. And this was a Record Store Day release, but what's really interesting about it is It's got the first LP, which is his regular album, and they did that on red vinyl. But it comes with the stripped version, which is the music and everything like that. I should mention too, that's all completely instrumental. That whole G3 I was showing off, as is this. This is like, I think this is like the biggest award-winning and highest-selling instrumental album ever. It came out, I think, in the late 80s though, so it was kind of the beginning of more CDs and cassettes, so you don't find it on vinyl a lot, but it is on yellow and red vinyl. This is the stripped version, so there's no leads or anything. His guitar leads are removed from the recording, so you can rock out and play along with your own guitar while you listen to the album. I thought that was a really interesting thing. This isn't a brand new release, but it is a release. We still have some copies left in our store. It actually came out on Black Friday, but with the reissue of the G3, I wanted to show this off. If you've ever seen the original album too, it actually has the Silver Surfer, the comic book Silver Surfer from Marvel Comics, on the surfboard. But copyrights and everything else, reissues of it and later copies of it do not have the Silver Surfer on it, because Joe Satriani said, like, Marvel Comics wanted to charge him more for licensing the image of that comic book thing than he even made on selling the album. So that's why they changed the artwork. So I thought that was a cool little story along with that. Like I said, that G3 collaboration, this is another really cool collaboration I'm excited to talk about. This is Dreamville. This is Revenge of the Dreamers 3 is the name of the album. This is actually, if you're familiar with Dreamville Records, that's J. Cole's record label, modern hip-hop mogul, and he is really killing it with this. This is a really cool compilation of artists that are on his label. If you're not already familiar with J. Cole, which you should be, awesome modern hip-hop artist. He's not that old, but he's old enough to have been working with, you know, Jay-Z and a lot of other people. He did some stuff with Kendrick Lamar too. This has brought to my attention a lot of rappers. This is his Atlanta sessions at his studio there, and there's songs on here with, with DaBaby, and with Earth Gang and Boss. Who else do I really like on here? Earth Gang, I think I said that. But there's just so many hip-hop artists on here and MCs, and it's actually not just hip-hop artists. There's producers on here working together. So this is a big, mad compilation of him getting together, and this is the third get-together, but the first two, they didn't put out an album. It's a double LP. What actually happened is they put out a director's edition, or the full cut of the recordings. That's sold out, and I'm upset I didn't get a copy for myself. We sold them all. But I was worried that this might be getting sold out too, so I had to grab a copy. We still have some left at the store. But it's considered Dreamville as the artist, but it's Dreamville and J. Cole. Just working with a whole bunch of just great rappers and great producers. It is, like I said, done in Atlanta, so it's gonna have a little bit of kind of that southern boom bap rap style, a little bit kind of slowed down and chilled. It's a really good thing, it's a real positive thing too, and J. Cole's actually been reaching out and helping a lot of other artists who are a little bit younger than him, kind of bridging that gap. So it's really cool to see how well his albums have been doing solo and how well his record label's been doing. And it was licensed through like Roc Nation, Jay-Z's label and stuff like that. So he's had some pretty good distribution, but he's just been a really good, solid rapper. And I like to see him presenting all these different producers and hip-hop artists on this collection. Definitely check that out. Like I said, there's some solid bangers on here. I would say at least 9 out of 10 is of my rating on this. There's so many good artists that I'm going to be going in, digging deeper, and trying to check out some of their albums too. This next one is actually a new release from an old band, Local H, one of my 90s favorites, alternative bands. This is a great sounding album, Lifers. It's like one of the first albums from a 90s band that I would say legitimately got me excited again, outside of just their name putting out another album. Because they've done a few albums since their 90s release, As Good as Dead, which had the Eddie Vedder song, and As Good as Dead, and just Fritz's Corner. All those classic hits came off of that one big album. This is a big, huge, rocking sounding album though, and it's just two guys still. I can't believe the sound that they put out with just a two-piece band. And they just really Scott, the singer on here, he just really lets it go, man. I swear, it's just like wide open, full blaring guitar. This is a nice gatefold release. It's on black vinyl. Nothing incredibly fancy. It's a nice thick gatefold jacket, which I like. But it's definitely worth checking out. If you haven't heard them in a while or just want to hear something that's just a good, kind of like an alternative rock album. He does work with There's some guest spots on here from some other artists too. I can't think of any offhand, but anyway, it's definitely worth checking out. And like I said, I can tell they had a lot of fun making it. And it's just a bummer. They actually were going to release this back pre-pandemic. The date got pushed and pushed. I couldn't find the album anywhere. Didn't hear anything about it getting released because they were going to suspend it until they could do a tour. Well, now it looks like it's going to be so long until they can tour. I mean, you never know how long that could take. So they ended up just kind of dropping it anyway. I'm glad they didn't hold it back any longer because I've been getting into this. I've listened to it like at least 6-7 times already. So that was a really cool one and kind of a surprise. I wasn't really super excited about Local H putting out a new album. Super glad they did. It's really cool too on the jacket how it shows side A, B, C, D, 56 minutes. So you know right up front what you're getting. You're getting almost an hour long rock album from those guys. On to my holy grail. Here's another one. I wasn't sure. Like I said, we can get almost anything from any label in at the store. There was this special limited box set from one of my favorite bands, Wilco, coming out. And I didn't know if you could only buy it through their website or not, but this is the Ode to Joy box set. This was their last album that they put out later at the end of last year, 2019. We already had the regular version of it, but this is the autographed limited edition box set. So I'm just going to kind of open it up and go through it a little bit with you. It also has this really cool, the artistic presence of the box set and packaging is mind-blowing. It's so cool what they did, the amount of detail, the amount of workers and art people who kind of helped lay this out. They're artists who's worked with them on several albums, came up with this concept. The box itself is kind of almost like rubbery feeling. It feels like a really soft, felty rubber. What's really cool about the album is that it has a different artwork. So there's the Ode to Joy, but they put this out like on all black. It is black vinyl, but it's like thick 180 gram vinyl, whereas the regular release was not. The book is amazing though. It's a really cool visual concept album. There's no way I'm gonna be able to show this off on camera to do it any extent, but try to show you a couple things, but there's so many. This is like a 6-point cut cover book, and every different page has different ways that the art from the album comes to life. That first one's all cut out lyrics. This one here has a little bit of a pinwheel where the different lyrics kind of go through the black and white tones. Like I said, there's all sorts of embossed raised lettering. Here's this like multi-pinwheel that you can figure out. It's like a puzzle. You have to put together the image. So many things. There's pull-out art. They showed a video too of the record jacket plant that was putting these together. So detailed. I couldn't imagine. They did 1,000 copies. I can't imagine the amount of work that went into making these, because each page just has oodles and oodles of different kind of textured artwork and things that you can play with and panels you can lift up. But I'll leave the rest to you. I'm not going to play with every single page and show off every single word. But take my word for it. This is a really cool collaged art book, a nice solid book. But the end all of it, and the reason that this is considered also, it's a $350 piece, which I would say, considering the price that a regular one of their albums sells for that's autographed, it's not bad because you get the box set, the book, and everything else with it. They were nice enough to have all 1,000 of these copies fully autographed by the entire band, not just Jeff Tweedy. All the guys got together for a big signing session and signed the inside of each one of these gorgeous box sets. What's interesting is they're actually selling for a little bit more on Wilco's website. So they somehow have kind of a deal, because I know the guys in the band are really supportive about people getting to know music, not just their band, but other bands at their independent record stores. So it's actually being offered at a slightly discounted price if you buy it through your independent record store. But they were extremely limited. We were only able to get our hands on this one copy. That is up. The link is in our post too, and on our YouTube, and of course at cultureshockshop.com. If anyone's interested in it, you can pick it up there, purchase it for in-store pickup or for shipping, and we'll carefully make sure it's all wrapped and packaged for you to get safely to your home. But I just thought that was really cool. I wasn't sure we were even going to get a copy because they kind of do this allocation deal. But what's cool is you could even frame that or hang that up, and you still have your own special version of the album and the book that it comes with. So those are just the kind of fun things that you get to see coming in on a weekly basis. That's just a small sample of all the records that just got released or reissued. Plus we have a lot of fresh used vinyl that we're always putting up in the store. and a lot of our other locally made and other independent items in our boutique section of the store. So please keep checking out our vinyl happy hour every single week. We're bringing out some fresh releases for you. And please like us, follow us, send us some comments and messages too. We'd like to know what's going on with your record collection or any questions you might have for our future videos. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy your records and your drinks. We'll see you soon. Cheers.